Screw the draft pick. I want to see the Tennessee Titans go out and whoop the New Orleans Saints. And I'm going to tell you how they can do it on today's edition of Locked On Titans.
You are Locked On Titans, your daily Tennessee Titans podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome to the Locked On Titans podcast. I am your host, Tyler Rowland. Titans fans, today's edition of the Locked On Titans podcast is brought to you by FanDuel. If you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. Merry Christmas, Titans fans. I am here to tell you that I don't care about the draft pick. I want to see the Tennessee Titans go out and win this game. I'll tell you exactly why I feel that way. We'll go over my keys to victory in this one, like making sure that you slow down Shough and Chris Olave and making sure that the Titans continue running the football. We'll talk about my players to watch in this one, like Cam Ward and Jeffrey Simmons, and I'll give you my prediction on this game. And I got to tell you, I woke up on Christmas morning feeling a little optimistic about this one. So before we dive into all of that, I do want to thank you for making the Locked On Titans your first listen. Thank you for making the Locked On Podcast Network the #1 sports podcast network. Remember, Monday through Friday, all year round, even on holidays, always delivering, always for free. Make sure that you get subscribed, stay subscribed. It's your team every day here on the Locked On Titans podcast. Speaking of every day, shout out to my everydayers out there tuning in Monday through Friday. Couldn't do it without you guys. If you aren't an everydayer, you need to be one. Stay locked in with the Locked On Titans podcast. But with that being said, again, I want the Tennessee Titans to win. I'm going to shout it loud. I'm going to shout it proudly. I do not care about the draft pick this weekend. I want to see the Tennessee Titans go win this game. Point blank, period. You know why? Because what it will mean, and I made this argument after the win against the Chiefs, that the Tennessee Titans playing good football and Cam Ward playing well, Cam Ward playing awesome football in that game, it fired me up, folks. It fired me up. I want to see this team win. I want to see Jeffrey Simmons dominate. I want to see the rookie wide receivers and Gunnar Helm make plays. I want to see this offensive line that's most likely going to be 4 out of 5 spots back next year. I want to see them continue to dominate up front in the run game, keeping Cam Ward protected. I want to see this team's players get better. I want to see them win at home again. They hadn't won at home in 400 days. I want to see it back-to-back. And again, screw the draft pick. The Titans are set to pick 6th right now. 6th in the draft. That's not, we aren't arguing about the first pick or the second pick or the second or the third pick. We're talking about the 6th pick right now. Would I rather hold on to the 6th pick by losing to Shough and the New Orleans Saints? And everybody saying that Shough is the offensive rookie of the year and Shough is the best rookie quarterback and the Saints have won 5 out of 7 and no. I don't care enough about the 6th pick to do that, and I talked about it on the crossover show. But there has been data presented this week that I put out on Twitter at TicTacTitans, retweeted it, from Titans beat reporter Nick Suss, that shows that if you don't have the #1 overall pick, the approximate value that you're going to get from your draft pick, either player or trade, is relatively even from pick number 2 to like pick number 13. Like, it's basically the same. And I talked about this draft class in particular. This draft class does not have a lot of top 5 talent. This draft class does not have Malik Neighbors and Marvin Harrison and Rome Odunze and Joe Alt, and Travis Hunter even. You want to put him in that conversation like from last year. Like, this is not a high-level draft at the top of the draft. It is simply not. All of the guys that we're talking about, I think Arvell Reese is a top 5 talent. But he's a project. He's going to play mostly edge rusher at the NFL level. He's been used as a linebacker at Ohio State. So I think Arvell Reese is going to be an awesome player, but it's not a slam dunk edge rusher like even a Travon Walker or Aiden Hutchinson were. And there are no slam dunk wide receivers. I don't think any of the wide receivers are even as good as Rome Odunze or even as good as Brian Thomas Jr. when he came out. Jordan Tyson is the number one wide receiver to me, but he's got injury issues. He's no slam dunk. Carnell Tate from Ohio State, good player, but I think he's a wide receiver 2 in the NFL. He's not a number 1 wide receiver. Mekhi Lemon is going to be a good slot. He's like a Zay Flowers type guy, but that isn't a dominant number 1 wide receiver. All those guys that I just mentioned are late round picks. Reuben Bain's arms are a concern. David Bailey doesn't play against the run. Keldrick Falk is a huge projection as a 20-year-old. Like, there aren't a ton of slam dunk top 10 talents in this NFL draft. So I would rather the Tennessee Titans go win. What if Cam Ward goes out there and dominates? What if Cam Ward is awesome? And this is a winnable game. The Saints have won 4 of their last 6 games, but look at who they've played those games against. It's the Panthers twice. It's the Falcons. It's the Dolphins. It's the Bucks, who have really come back down to earth. It's the Jets, who they just beat 29-6. Like, the Saints are a better football team than the Titans right now, but I don't think it's significant. And we're going to talk about my keys to victory, and we're going to talk about my players to watch. And I think there are some significant advantages here for the Titans, and they're playing at home, and they have momentum. Like, I want to see Cam Ward go out there and beat Tyler Shough. I want to see Cam Ward go out there and be better than Tyler Shough. And look, the Titans don't have a Chris Olave. They don't. Okay? So that makes it a lot tougher. But after Chris Olave and Juwan Johnson at tight end, the Saints have nothing at skill positions. Mason Tipton, that Taysom Hill, this version of Taysom Hill. At running back, they're playing freaking Evan Hall, Audric Estime, a guy we all wanted the Titans to pick up off of waivers. Like, after Chris Olave and Juwan Johnson, everyone else on the Titans is better. The Titans' offensive line is better than what the Saints' offensive line has been. We'll talk about where the Titans have advantages there, but there are some injuries up front on the interior, and the Titans can take advantage of that. So, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. You know what I mean? Sorry, not sorry. I want the Tennessee Titans to go out here and get a win. I want the team to keep getting better. I want Cam Ward to outplay Tyler Shough. I want the Titans to beat this Saints team. And in my opinion, where last week Kansas City, people could poo-poo that and be like, oh, no Patrick Mahomes, Gardner Minshew got hurt, blah, 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 blah. Beating this Saints team that's won 4 out of their last 6, even if it's not the hardest schedule of all time, beating this Saints team would be a good win for the Titans. And again, I'm not going to let picking 6th or picking 9th discourage me from wanting to see the Titans win a game. I'm fired up about the team right now with the way that they played the last couple of weeks and getting that win last week. These are important players. It's not like, all of these players aren't going to be here next year. So this momentum and building, it's going to matter when Cam Ward and Jeffrey Simmons and Cedric Gray is going to be back out there, and you have the young guys on offense and the O-line. Like, there are a lot of parts of this team that are going to be here next year and that could use this momentum and use this going into the offseason. The franchise needs this. The fan base needs this. Let's go see a close, competitive Titans win where Cam Ward outplays the other quarterback. That's what I want this weekend. Draft, pick, be damned. So with that being said, let's talk about how they can get that victory, my keys to victory, my players to watch, my predictions for this game. Merry Christmas, folks. Do want to let you know that today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. NFL Sundays move fast. One big play and suddenly everything feels different. That's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're not just watching the game, you're reacting to it in real time. With FanDuel, you can place bets as the action unfolds. Every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment. Live betting is best when the game starts to shift. A receiver gets hot, a defense tightens up, or the momentum flips after a turnover. FanDuel lets you jump into those moments. Live spreads and money lines that adjust instantly. Player props that update as guys heat up. You also can bet the next touchdown score, drive results, totals, and more. It keeps you locked in to every snap, every drive, every possibility. So if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. It's FanDuel. The game moves fast, and so can you. Today's episode is also brought to you by Game Time. The NFL season is in full swing. There's nothing like being at the game. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I literally considered going to the game on Sunday if I didn't have to travel on Saturday for Christmas. Like, this is going to be a fun one. The crowd noise, the energy, cheering alongside other fans. Watching at home is great, but being in the stadium hits different. The frustrating part has always been getting tickets, though. You got to wait in the queues. You got to deal with logins. You got to watch the price change right when you're about to pay. That's why the Game Time app gives the advantage back to fans. It's the hack for unlocking amazing NFL tickets and experiences in just a few taps. I pulled up the Game Time app recently to check upcoming NFL games, Titans against the Saints this weekend, and found great ticket options almost intuitively, or instantly. The app is intuitive, putting those two words together. You get a panoramic view from your seat. They have zone deals, and you can see NFL tickets available for around $100, and it makes it easy to plan a game day trip. Take the guesswork out of buying NFL tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONNFL. That's LOCKEDON NFL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem the code LOCKEDON NFL, Locked On NFL for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today and get back to being there live. Titans fans, let's continue today's Christmas edition of the Locked On Titans podcast. This is coming out on Christmas night on Thursday, on Christmas night on YouTube. You'll probably listen to it if you're an audio person in the morning on Friday. But either way, hope you had a Merry Christmas. Hope it's been a good day, a good week for you. I'm a jolly fella. I'm not going to lie. I've been wearing my Santa hat all week on all the shows. I got Christmas decorations up in my house like November 1st. I love Christmas. So hope you guys are having a good time as well. And hopefully the Titans make it better for us. Again, I want this victory this weekend, but how do the Titans get it? My keys to victory. First, want to thank you for making Locked On Titans your first listen each and every day. And thank you for making the Locked On Podcast Network the #1 sports podcast network. I'll be live immediately after the game on Sunday to break down everything that happened. So make sure that you're back with me here for that episode. But #1 key to victory, you gotta slow down Tyler Shough. He has been playing great football. And like my guy Ross Jackson, the mastermind, said on the crossover episode, I know that it probably upset you guys, but Tyler Shough has played the best football of any rookie quarterback this year. He's been pretty fantastic. And I was somebody who did not like Tyler Shough coming out of the draft. But one of the reasons I didn't like Tyler Shough is not good under pressure. He crumbled under pressure in college, and a lot of that probably had to do with injuries and things like that. But when you start to look at who Tyler Shough is as a player right now, even though he's playing well, it is clear that when you put pressure on him, he falls off the table fast. 3 of his 5 turnover-worthy plays this year have come when he's been under pressure. His completion percentage drops off from near 70 to 43.9%. It's like a 30-plus percentage point drop. All 5 of his interceptions have been when he has to throw outside. When he's under pressure, his Pro Football Focus grade drops from 87 to 45. Like, there are so many things out there that show that he can't handle the pressure. And like I said, I mixed it in there with all the stats, but 5 interceptions this year for Tyler Shough when he has to throw the ball to the outside. Look at some of these numbers, throwing outside of the numbers. Down the center, in between the numbers, 86% completion percentage. But when he has to throw it to the right outside the numbers, 60% completion percentage. When he's got to throw it to the left outside the numbers, 57% completion percentage. This is a guy who lives over the middle of the field. He makes all of his mistakes outside of the numbers. If I'm the Tennessee Titans, I am bringing blitzes, and I'm using zone coverages that flood the middle of the field. So I want to use cover 2, where I can have 3 guys taking up the middle. I am going to use cover 3, where I have 3 guys over top, but I can have 4 zones underneath. I'm going to use some complex split field coverages, like a cover 6 or a cover 9, where I can have a bunch of guys in curl flats and hook curls over the middle of the field. You have to take away the middle of the field from Tyler Shough and force him to throw it outside the numbers. He will make mistakes. And with a guy like Chris Olave, who is also part of this equation, you have to slow down Chris Olave along with Tyler Shough. That has to be the key to victory because, again, outside of Chris Olave, they do not have a lot of weapons that scare you. Juwan Johnson is a very good tight end, but again, those 2 guys, and then it's a lot of nothing, in my opinion. So you slow down Chris Olave, who moves around. He plays a lot in the slot. I mean, in the last game, he had like 21 snaps in the slot and 25 outside. You know, they split him. They move him around. They do a bunch of things. So it's going to be hard to just play man coverage and keep an eye on him when they're going to move him around nonstop. You don't want Keeman Hall, who you just picked up off the street, who played well last week in that game against the Chiefs, but you don't want him going one-on-one in man coverage against Chris Olave. So the Titans are going to have to run a lot of zone coverages so they can keep eyes on Olave and cover up the middle of the field where Tyler Shough likes to do his best work. But again, pressure Tyler Shough. I would bring zone blitzes, these simulated pressures for the Titans. And I would really flood the middle of the field with zone and look for like one of my favorite coverages is a cover 3 where basically what you do is it's a buzz coverage where in a cover 3, you have the 2 guys over the middle, you have the 2 curl flats on the outside, and then you have the 3 over the top with their deep thirds. Well, what you could do sometimes is you can use one of your safeties, have them in a too high safety look where both safeties are up high, like it's going to be cover 2 or cover 4 or cover 6 or something like that. And then your safety rolls down into the middle of the field and becomes one of those middle of the field defenders while one of your linebackers bounces out and takes the outside. You can make a quarterback think that he has an opening over the middle of the field on a crosser or a quick glance route or something like that and slide that safety into that slot and totally catch him off guard. I would be trying to set traps for Tyler Shough over the middle of the field, making him think there are openings and sliding people into those openings that wouldn't be there normally. So I'd like to see a ton of disguised zone coverages from the Titans paired with simulated pressures up front to get pressure on Tyler Shough. And I think they will get pressure on Tyler Shough because there is an advantage for the Titans when we talk about the players to watch here in just a moment. But they got to slow down Tyler Shough and Chris Olave together. But number 2, they got to run the football. So the New Orleans Saints pass defense has been incredible over this 6-game stretch where they've won 4 out of their last 6. They have been phenomenal, like a top 3 pass defense in EPA per drop back. They have been freaking awesome. Okay, 102 passing yards allowed, 181 passing yards allowed, 134 passing yards allowed, 122 passing yards allowed, 154, 131. They have not allowed over 181 passing yards in 6 weeks. That is insane. Okay, so their pass defense is awesome. Their third down defense is 4th best in the NFL, 34.8% conversion rate against that New Orleans Saints defense. So how do you stay out of 3rd and longs that make it easy for the defense to convert? How do you stay away from banging your head against one of the best pass defenses in the NFL? You run the freaking ball. The run defense for the Saints, however, has been terrible. 73 over the last 6 games, 73 rushing yards allowed. Then 121, 164, 179, 127, and 64 last week against the Jets because the Jets are an absolute disgrace. So a lot of this stuff in the last game is a little juiced, but look at that. I mean, the Saints are not a good run defense. They're a great pass defense. What have the Titans been doing great over the last 3 games? Running the football. 136 yards per game for the Titans on the ground. So if the Saints have a great pass defense that plays a ton of excellent disguised zone coverages that could make it difficult on Cam Ward, and they're great on 3rd down, you got to give yourself short 3rd downs that make it easier to convert, and you got to run the ball against a bad run defense. It is clear, it is obvious, and it is significant the advantage that the Tennessee Titans can have in this realm. This is why I feel more confident that the Titans can win this game, because the Tennessee Titans have an easy avenue here. And I did a film breakdown this week on the Tic Tac Titans YouTube channel. It came out on Wednesday, on Christmas Eve, breaking down the Tennessee Titans run game renaissance. They are using pin pulls to get outside on sweeps. They are using outside zone. They are using RPO tags, making it, having an RPO set up on the outside and then run an inside zone. They're running duo and pounding people from extended lines of scrimmage, either with condensed 12 or 13 jumbo. Went over all of it in my film breakdown. If you missed that, go back and check it out. The run game renaissance of the Tennessee Titans. Show you exactly what they've done over the last 3 weeks to get back to running the football. But they have to continue that here with their pin pulls to the outside, their outside zone runs, their RPO tags out of shotgun in the inside zone. They got to keep doing all that stuff, and they got to have success with it. If the Tennessee Titans run for 140 yards in this game, they're going to win. They're going to win. All right. And then the final key to victory for me is start fast. And me and Ross Jackson talked about this yesterday on the crossover, but the Titans are not a team that has come back from behind other than the Arizona win. And Arizona gave that to the Titans. So this is not a football team that's won a lot of games. Obviously, they've only won 3 games all year. But with that, the 2 other games that they've won, the Chiefs and the Browns, they got up big. They were up by double digits against the Browns. They were up by double digits against the Chiefs, and they just held on. But they are not as well suited or accustomed to coming back from behind. So if New Orleans gets off to a quick start, I think it's going to be impossible for the Titans to come back and they lose. So it's imperative that the Tennessee Titans get off to a strong start and get off quick so that they can get a little bit of a lead and feel comfortable about themselves. And then everything that they need to do, running the football, getting pressure on Tyler Shough, everything is much more accessible if they get that early lead and they start fast. So that's what I'm looking for there. Moving to my players to watch. On offense, Cam Ward. I've already explained why I want to see Cam Ward outplay Tyler Shough in this game. The running backs. I talked about running the football. I think this is going to be a big game for Tony Pollard and Tajay Spears. They have to dominate in this game. And players to watch, I'm just putting the whole offensive line. Well, here's the reality. The Saints have an okay pass rush. Honestly, it's very comparable to the Titans. They have right around the same amount of sacks, same amount of pressures, similar blitz rate as the Titans. They're doing things. The Titans have quite a bit more pressures, like 11 or 12 more pressures. But the sacks are similar. You know, it's not a big difference. But that's not a great pass rush. And Chase Young is a good player. And obviously, Cameron Jordan is a good player. And Brian Barise, pretty good player. But, like, these guys shouldn't dominate the Titans' offensive line. And the Titans should bully them in the run game. Like, the interior defensive linemen of the New Orleans Saints have not been good against the run. Their safeties and linebackers have been pretty good at coming up and helping against the run. But the defensive line hasn't been that great. So I think the Titans' offensive line should bully them in the run game. Like, I talked about the run defense and the totals allowed, and like, they have to do it, and they should be able to do it. So I want to see him do it. Now, on defense, Jeffrey Simmons, dominate this game. Ross Jackson was on here yesterday talking about the New Orleans Saints struggles up front. They got Dylan Radins starting at guard, Luke Fortner starting at center, Will Sherman. Who? Will Sherman was playing guard. Jeffrey Simmons should destroy these guys. Literally eat them alive. Now, Kelvin Banks has been okay at left tackle, their rookie left tackle out of Texas. Talise Fawaga, their second-year offensive tackle, who I liked a lot out of the draft, has been pretty good as well. But they haven't been dominant. They both allowed about 4 sacks this year. So, like, this Saints offensive line is banged up. It's banged up on the interior where Jeffrey Simmons should eat these people alive. Like that Cedric Gray practice, he should be back from a concussion. Want to see Cedric Gray go out there and break some records for Titans rookie tackle or Titans tackles and stuff like that. Let's blitz Cedric Gray up the middle a couple times to see if he could smoke Tyler Shough. I'm telling you guys, Tyler Shough's college tape, he wilts when the pressure gets on him. He does not want to stand in there and take the hit and make the throw. He doesn't want to do it. So Jeffrey Simmons, Jihad Ward, Arden Key, Cedric Gray, get in there and scare the heck out of him. He's going to make mistakes and give you the ball. He's going to do it. Do it, man. I want to see it. I want to see it. But finally, I'm giving it to the whole secondary because they got to handle Chris Olave, and that is not going to be easy. And I don't have a good answer for you. If they play man, they can double him. I think they could play man and double him, but he moves around, and you got to be really good with your communication to make sure that you got 2 guys on him no matter where he moves to. And then if you play zone, you have to communicate where he's at and stay extra alert to what he could be doing. So whatever it is, stop Olave, and you're going to win the game. So With that being said, though, time for my predictions in this game. What do I think happens? Gambling, fantasy, all that jazz. And if you're angry with me because I don't care about the draft pick, I will give you an update on the tank guide, and there is some good news in that regard. Do want to let you guys know that today's episode is brought to you by Prize. All right. The holiday season, one of the best times for sports, hands down. You got bowl games, big basketball matchups, you got playoff pushes. It's all happening at once. And while we're all making choices every day, one of the most fun places to make the right call is Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the easiest way to get in on daily fantasy. You just pick more or less on at least 2 player projections, lock in your lineup, and you're in the game. It's simple, it's fast, it's available in 45 states, including California, Texas, Florida, and Georgia. Prize Picks adds an extra layer of excitement to the holiday sports schedule. Creating a lineup takes less than a minute. The app makes the whole process smooth and intuitive. You can choose from a range of unique stats, fantasy scores. I love their features, like an early payout feature, the stacks feature, where I can use the same player 3 times in the same lineup. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use the code LOCKEDONNFL. You're going to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, that's code LOCKEDONNFL, LOCKEDON NFL, to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. It's Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Titans fans, let's cap off today's edition of the Locked On Titans podcast. We talked about why I want to see the Titans win this game. I don't care about the pick. We talked about my players to watch, my keys to victory. Now, wanting to get into my predictions for this game and give you a little update on the draft pick guide if that's what you're into. But before I do, thanks again for making Locked On Titans your first listen. Thank you for making the Locked On Podcast Network the #1 sports podcast network. I told you guys that I woke up feeling a little optimistic after the crossover Thursday. I got to do more of a deep dive into the New Orleans Saints, into what they do well, what they don't do well, look at the Tennessee Titans film a little bit more, and I am taking the Titans to win a close one. I think this is going to be a very, very close football game no matter what happens, but I am taking the Titans to win 24-23. I think Cam Ward pulls it out. He makes the big plays at the end. He outplays Tyler Shough, and he gets the Tennessee Titans their 4th victory of the year, officially getting more wins than the Titans had last year, and Mike McCoy getting more wins than Brian Callahan as a head coach. Again, how could anyone ever defend Brian Callahan ever again after this? But I'm starting to get some questions from you guys about Mike McCoy as a candidate. Stop it. Mike McCoy is not a serious head coaching candidate for the Tennessee Titans. Jeff Fisher, I see some people say that. Stop it. Even John Gruden. You can be mad about this if you want, but Gruden is in the middle of litigation against the NFL. He is a media personality now. He's not coaching the Titans next year. He's not even going to get an interview. So Gruden, Fisher, Mike McCoy, no. Those are non-starters. I can't even talk to you if that's what you're selling to me. No. We're not doing that. But regardless, I think Mike McCoy can get the Titans to another win. And I don't think they're going to beat Jacksonville next week because Jacksonville is actually a good team. So this is the last chance for the Titans to get a win. They're at home. I want to see them get a big home victory here, and I think they do 24-23. Keeping it plus 100. Looking at the gambling aspect of this game right now, the Titans are 3-point favorite or underdogs. I'm going to take the Titans with the points at home. I think they're going to win the game. I like the money line. Over under 38.5. I like the over in this one. You guys know I normally don't even like to lean. I don't like over-unders, but I feel confident that there will be more points. The weather isn't going to be that bad. Both of these defenses have had their struggles in different ways. Again, very good pass defense for New Orleans, but very bad run defense. I think the Titans will be able to run the football. That'll help them put up points. I think the Saints offense is going to have some big plays against the Titans secondary, even if they limit them from a down-to-down basis, because the Saints suck at running the ball, and they're decent at passing it. So it's kind of the same thing for the Saints on the offensive side of the ball, which I think plays in to the Tennessee Titans because, if they could stop them in the run, the Titans have been a really good run defense the last 6 weeks. then they'll have third and longs. They can send that pressure. They can do those disguise coverages and things like that. So love everything that's going for the Titans there. Give me the Titans +3. Give me the Titans money line. Give me the over on the 38.5. My beautiful, dark, twisted fantasy player of the week. Last week, it was Tajay Spears. You're welcome. The week before that, it was Gunnar Helm. You're welcome. I'm on a bit of a run right now, and this week I'm giving you Tony Pollard. If you're in the championship of your fantasy football matchup, do Sunday daily fantasy lineups, you do, FanDuel, things like that, and daily fantasy things. I think that Tony Pollard would be an excellent choice for that. I would play him in your championships. I think he's going to have a monster game, over 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. Big game from Tony Pollard coming up. But with that being said, for those of you who are obsessed with the picks still, here it is. The Giants and the Raiders play each other this week. So one of those teams has to win. Maybe they tie, I guess. It's a possibility. But that'll send one of them to 3 wins. Okay, now the Titans have a better strength of schedule, a harder strength of schedule, more difficult strength of schedule. So they're not going to jump over those guys. But if one of them gets to 3 wins, there's a chance they get to 4 wins. And maybe the Titans lose this week, and then they lose next week, and they only end up with 3 wins, and one of those teams ends up behind the Titans. But the other 3-win teams, Arizona is at Cincinnati. I guess maybe, but I think Cincinnati's going to smoke Arizona. New England is at the Jets. The Jets aren't winning another game the rest of the year. They are the worst team in the league right now. Pittsburgh is at Cleveland. I think Cleveland could win that game. I think it could be a crazy division game that Cleveland wins, quite honestly. And then we do need to pay attention to Baltimore. If Pittsburgh does beat Cleveland, then Baltimore is out of the playoffs and we don't get the 4th-round draft pick. It stays a 5th-round draft pick for Draymond Jones. So need Baltimore to beat Green Bay in Green Bay. Green Bay's got some quarterback injury issues. Need Cleveland to beat Pittsburgh for multiple reasons right there. So that's what you're rooting for this weekend if you're still overly concerned about the draft pick. But again, I want to see the Titans win the game. But that's going to do it for me today, folks. Again, Merry Christmas to all of you guys. I'll be here after the game live on Sunday to break it all down. That's going to do it for me today, folks. As always, I am your host, Tyler Rowland, and this was Locked On Titans.